DEI programs are on track to become a thing of the past. With just 4 days to go until Donald Trump is sworn in, there's been confirmation that the FBI has closed its DEI office. In a statement to Fox News Digital, the agency said, in recent weeks, the FBI took steps to close the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. And it comes as more and more companies and departments around the world are realising that these programs may have started out well-intentioned, but they're causing more harm than good. Republicans have been expressing concerns that the FBI was prioritising DEI, which meant that it was overshadowing national security. Former FBI special agent and Fox News contributor Nicole Parker said, DEI is a dangerous distraction. I have no issue in celebrating whatever you would like regarding your heritage or gender or religion, but that should be done on your own time and not with the US taxpayers' dollars while on official bureau time. The news that the FBI is closing its DEI office is being well received. Commentator Benny Johnson posted on X, Trump isn't even in office yet and the world is healing. And in recent months, we've been seeing more and more large American companies roll back their DEI commitments. Amazon, Ford, Harley-Davidson, McDonald's, Meta, Toyota and Walmart, just to name a few. Axios reports that companies have been talking about DEI much less and that mentions of DEI in earnings calls have dropped by roughly 82% since Q2 2021 because companies are realising that they exacerbate the very problems they intend to solve. Last year, MIT became the first elite institution to scrap diversity, equity and inclusion statements from its faculty hiring process. A university spokesperson said, "My goals are to tap into the full scope of human talent, to bring the very best to MIT, to make sure they thrive once they're here. We can build an inclusive environment in many ways, but compelled statements impinge on freedom of expression and they don't work." The most recent example of DEI priorities just going dangerously too far is the LA Fire Department. While LA has been suffering through the worst wildfires in its history, this video has emerged from the LA Fire Department's diversity chief, appearing to blame anyone who may find themselves caught in a fire.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or, you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire. Which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
And it's not just the fires where the focus on DEI has caused a potential safety issue. We saw that in the assassination attempt of President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, where it was embarrassing to watch the female agents who were caught on camera not being able to do their jobs. And the former director of Secret Service, Kimberly Cheatle, was previously boasting about making sure there were enough women in the job.
To expand hiring, they're aiming to have 30% women recruits by 2030, and even allowed YouTube influencer Michelle Carre to train with agents.
But I'm very conscious as I sit in this chair now of making sure that we need to attract diverse candidates and ensure that we are developing and giving opportunities to everybody in our workforce, and particularly women.
At the risk of stating the obvious, men and women are built differently. Independent journalist Brittany Hopper, who lost her old home in the LA wildfires, joined Power Hour for her reaction to the LA Fire Department's video and shared her concerns about what happens when DEI becomes the focus. How much anger is there towards local and state government? Because it appears there's no one less competent than the mayor of LA, Karen Bass, who was, while the fires were breaking out, enjoying herself at a cocktail party in Ghana while people back in Los Angeles were losing everything. She also only just figured out how to respond to questions about this when she was being asked by journalists. Here she is finally answering them.
Looking back, would you have taken that trip overseas?
You know, I am going to focus today on what we know.
But Brittany, no apology there to the people of Los Angeles. What do you make of this?
So what a lot of us are saying who are from California, this is kind of like our 9/11. And this could be a moment for the mayor to really rise up and show some empathy and compassion and humility and maybe a tear or two, because I think people all over the world who don't even maybe know anyone in Los Angeles, when they see what they're seeing, the damage and how many lives have been changed forever because of these fires, they even can get emotional. So the fact that the woman who is running this city has not really shown any empathy or compassion, in my point of view. We haven't really seen her. She's just getting very defensive, and she and the governor, I think, are deflecting. They're putting the blame in other people, but they're not taking any accountability. This is their city and state, and there's a lot that went wrong. This never should have gotten this out of hand, in my opinion. And so, yeah, a lot of people are upset, and rightfully so. And I think that we're going, as the days and we see even the more damage happened, I think we're going to see more and more people upset.
Absolutely. Look, Gavin Newsom has been flat out lying to the American people, claiming that the reservoirs, all of them, are full, and he's blaming Donald Trump for misinformation about the fires. Here he is.
The reservoirs are completely full, the state reservoirs here in Southern California. That mis and disinformation, I don't think advantages or aids any of us. Responding to Donald Trump's insults, we would spend another month. I'm very familiar with them.
The reporter then corrects Gavin Newsom because the reservoirs were not all full, as you mentioned one at the top of the show. And right now, while LA is burning, Gavin Newsom and the California Democrats have reached a $50 million deal to Trump-proof the state to make sure they could defend illegal immigrants against deportation. Why is that a priority?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it seems like, you know what, look, I was born and raised in California, in Southern California, 40 plus years. And it seems like the decline since these Democrats have taken over, and it's not just the Democrats, it's this far left liberal policies that have ruined these blue cities in our country. And I've seen it firsthand. It's one of the main reasons why a year ago we left for a red state. And I hate to sound like this, and I hate to politicize things, but you know what? I see firsthand there's huge differences living in a blue city or a blue state and a red city and a red state. So many differences. I don't know why he keeps deflecting, why he can't take any accountability. He, to me, reminds me of a used car salesman. And I'm so sorry to make that analogy, but it's just one of those kind of like, are you telling me the truth? Are you? I never really believe what's coming out of his mouth. I don't really think for the people. I think it's all money hungry greed. And we have a lot of people hurting. And it's not just the Palisades, it's also Altadena, which was a very low income area. And, you know, you have two completely different socioeconomic areas that are completely shattered by this. And I don't know where people go from here. And he's not really addressing what I think people need to hear from him, the man who is running the state. Where are these people going to go? What are they going to do? We house thousands of homeless people, yet now we have thousands of people that are displaced because of this fire, and they have nowhere to go. I mean, it's such a mess, and he just keeps making excuses and keeps just saying stuff that is not. It's sad.
It's so sad. And it is so sad seeing people return to their homes that are no longer there anymore. The vision is just hard to watch. It's hard for us to fathom that the scale of these fires. The LA Police Department have arrested at least 3 people for arson outside the wildfire zones, and Fox News has reported that an illegal immigrant from Mexico was also arrested near the LA fires with an alleged blowtorch. Now, that person was not charged with arson. Donald Trump has shared a text message that he received. It says the actual irony: a homeowner consents to pay property taxes, which you mentioned, Brittany, were outrageously high, that will go to the fire department. The funds are diverted to illegal immigrants because LA is a sanctuary city. An illegal immigrant comes and sets your house on fire and the fire department doesn't have the resources to put it out. The homeowner paid for their own destruction. On top of that, the government is so inept that the insurance companies won't insure houses here anymore, so the homeowner is left with nothing. Look, does that message resonate with you? Are people in Los Angeles kind of feeling that at the moment?
Yeah, I think he hit the nail on the head. And even if you're not a pro-Trump person, I think what he said just encapsulates everything what people are feeling, exactly what he just said. And I think that this is why we're seeing so many people angry. I think this is why you see a lot of people who maybe didn't even vote for Trump agree with him right now, because this is where's he wrong? Everything he just said, everything you just read is exactly what is happening and what we're seeing. And this could take years for insurance companies to get people's money back with the stuff that they lost. And then let's not forget, what money can't buy back, your photo albums, your kids' school projects, and, all of your memorabilia, generations of your parents or grandparents' things. I mean, I talked to a girlfriend today and her father who passed away, his cufflinks are gone in the fire, and all of her it gets me so emotional, but all of her pictures with her father, and her father passed away, they're gone. I mean, it's like these types of things. I mean, it's so sad. It's just so sad. And, I think Trump was right. And I think that this is why so many people are frustrated. I think that this is really going to be a huge wake-up call for a lot of people in how they vote the next time around. I do think that that's going to be the case. You still have people who are making excuses and still saying that there was nothing that anyone could have done. But, I will say, water puts fire out. Water puts fire out. Historically, we know water puts fire out. Historically, we know that this exact area, and I can't talk about Altadena, but I know for a fact, Pasadena, where I've covered for so many years, wildfires, it is prone to fires. The resources weren't there. And so we need to, the local elected officials and state elected officials need to take some accountability and answer a lot of questions.
Absolutely, and you're not the only one who thinks people may be voting differently. Caitlyn Jenner has flagged that people may be voting differently as a result of how these fires have been so badly handled. And another factor in all of this is the local government and even the fire department's focus on DEI. As you mentioned, California has fully embraced far-left policies and has been criticised for DEI mandates, even within its fire department. Now, this LA Fire Department Assistant Chief Kristen Larson has spoken about the importance of diversity, equity and inclusion, which is a bit hard to watch right now, but let's take a look.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
How difficult is that to watch when you've seen the full scale of this devastation and you have a message like that?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I certainly don't want a person looking like me coming in to my burning home and saving me, because they probably wouldn't be able to. I don't know what is going on. The priorities have just gotten so far to a level of insanity in my point of view. I do not care who you're sleeping with, what your personal preference is in the bedroom, if you're a lesbian, if you're gay, who you're married to. Can you do the job? And what you just showed me, I don't know. I mean, I mean, running into a burning house with 150 pounds on their body and rescuing people and saving the home and lives. That person didn't really look like the best fit for that particular job. So I think the priorities are so out of whack and messed up. And as a result, this is what we're seeing.
Yeah,
because the
absolutely.
priorities have been messed up. They cared so much in Los Angeles for our fire hydrants to be colored the rainbow, yet the fire hydrants weren't filled with water. Go figure.